That we have some breaking inputs coming in. In fact, remember, the Supreme Court was to be hearing the Gyanvapi matter, and today it's being presented before the Apex Court. The matter is being heard by Chief Justice of India, CJI Chandrachud. The hearing has begun. It's a main matter that is listed today. Right, Mr. Solicitor, this is what Mr. Ahmadi is saying. Now, CJI Chandrachud is also talking about the carbon dating, which is going to begin on Monday. Ahmadi is saying that we would like to examine that will there be any damage to the structure done during the carbon dating at the time. Now, important to talk about how the entire bone of contention as far as this matter is concerned rests upon the carbon dating, which is all set to begin, as has been informed during the hearing at the Apex Court. Now, Tushar Mehta is saying that we would like to examine that there will be damage to the structure as well. Before the High Court passed an order on 12th, it had sought a report with the ACI, which has been annexed with a plea. This is what Vishnu Jain from the Hindu side has had to say. In fact, let's quickly go across to my colleague Anusha, who's joining me live right now. We'll throw more light. Anusha, important to talk about now that the matter has been moved to the Apex Court. I'm sure that carbon dating of the entire structure will become the fulcrum of today's hearing.
Absolutely. And to give it more context, Akanksha, you remember, it all started with the right to worship of Ma Shringar Gauri at the Gyanvapi complex. Then this matter expanded when that footage was leaked out to the presence of a disputed structure, which the believers say is a Shivling. And there should be no, any other kind of activities that should happen in the area. It's a wuzu khana. So cleaning activities were done. That particular area has been sealed by the Supreme Court of India. Now, at the High Court, there was an order that was, that the petitioners had got in their favor, which meant that through a scientific process, without getting any damage to the Shivling, it can be assured that whether at all it's a Shivling or not, that structure is a Shivling or not. There are various concerns that were raised today before the Supreme Court, as in whether, it will incur some kind of damage if any kind of procedure is carried out. More importantly, is this particular procedure required at all or not? Keeping all these different concerns into mind, the Supreme Court has deferred this order of the High Court.
Absolutely. In fact, on that note, let me also bring in Ananya, who's also covering this story from the court for us. Ananya, this is what CJI Chandrachud has said, that since the implications of the impunged order merit closer scrutiny, the implementation of the directions concerned in the order shall stand deferred till the next date. What is the next date?
Well, a particular date has not been given by the court itself. We will get to know it in a short while when the automatic date actually gets updated on the Supreme Court website. But at this point of time, what is very, very clear is that at this point of time, no kind of carbon dating could take place, which had to begin from Monday, but the same could not actually be taking place. In fact, the Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta too, said that they will be examining the whole position because they fear that some kind of a damage would happen to, in fact, that particular structure, which the Hindu side believes it to be a Shivling, and in fact, the Muslim side says that it is a fountain. Now, what is very, very interesting to note is that though the Hindu side pointed it out to in fact, the Supreme Court that, there is a report from the Archeological Survey of India before the Allahabad High Court, and the same has also been placed before the Supreme Court. There is no kind of a damage that is to be there, and the Muslim side raised objections on these arguments. The Supreme Court will be hearing this matter. Probably we'll get to know the date by evening today, and we'll get to know if the matter is being heard in the vacations or it will be heard post-vacation. So definitely at this point of time, no kind of a survey will take place at that particular site, that particular disputed site, which the Hindu side claims to says that it is the temple of Ma Shringar Gauri, while the Muslim side says it's the Gyanvapi Mosque.
All right, let's quickly go across to Mr. Harish Shankar Jain, who's representing the Hindu side right now. Mr. Jain, आज डेट डेफर कर दी गई है. मंडे को सबको पता है कि कार्बन डेटिंग का प्रोसीजर शुरू होना था. अब क्या एक्सपेक्ट करें हम?
Court will hear the entire matter extensively, and thereafter court will decide. Till then, it has been deferred.
Right. I'm sure that we are waiting a date. But having said that, are we now?
Supreme Court will hear the entire matter on it. Today was the last day of working day. Therefore, the court has stayed deferred the proceeding up to the 22nd, and after in July the matter will be heard.
So are you confirming that there will be no hearing during the vacation period?
No hearing.
All right. All right. Many thanks to you, Mr. Jain, for joining in. Let me quickly bring in Anusha on that note. Anusha, you heard Mr. Jain just confirm that there will be no hearing done during the vacation period. Where does the whole procedure of carbon dating stand as of now? That means that there's still hope for carbon dating to happen, perhaps after the next hearing then.
Right. Akanksha, I think let me put this into context. You have Mr. Tushar Mehta who's arguing in the court that they need to be absolutely certain that there is no damage which is caused to the present structure which is present there. Because there are a lot of sensibilities which are involved. There are believers who believe that this is a Shivling which is present there. So the central government is not directly on the side of the Hindu petitioners who had sought that there should be an immediate examination whether this is a Shivling or this is not a Shivling, some kind of a carbon dating procedure. There is also a small caveat that I'd like to put here. This is an order which has been deferred, which is mildly different from what a stay really involves. Yes, in effect it's a stay, but deferring of a particular order means that the court can put the order back once it's satisfied on the merits of it. Now, when the central government argues that we want to be absolutely certain there is no damage to the structure which is caused, they are essentially talking about deferring this order. That's what has happened, and the fact that the central government took this stand, I believe in itself is a very interesting proposition.
And that's a very interesting point that you've made. In fact, let me also bring in Ananya. Ananya, when Vishnu Jain was referring, he's in fact also referred to the report that was demanded from the ASI. How crucial was this report that has been annexed with the plea?
Well, this report was submitted before the Allahabad High Court. We saw how, in fact, the Allahabad High Court, after considering that particular report, had actually ordered for a scientific survey, in fact, a carbon dating of that particular structure. It was stated that there are various techniques that the ASI can actually use without, in fact, touching that particular structure to actually determine in fact, that what is the carbon date of that particular structure is, and to determine as to whether it is a Shivling or in fact a fountain. But at this point of time, all that goes into a limbo until the Supreme Court actually hears that matter, because now it is a stay of the Supreme Court that will have to prevail over that the High Court order that was passed by the Allahabad High Court, giving a clean signal, a green signal, in fact, for carbon dating. But at the same point of time, the Hindu side would also get its chance to actually give out its argument and to explain how the ASI report would actually be venturing into. And in fact, this is crucially based upon the submissions of the Solicitor General of India, who said that there needs to be complete assurance and there needs to be complete sanctity that, this particular structure does not get damaged during this particular procedure. And that's the reason why, in fact, the Supreme Court also felt that extensive hearing in the matter is required. And in fact, the Solicitor General too would be consulting, in fact, the government officials, who would include, in fact, the officials of the Archeological Survey of India as well. So definitely, when the matter actually is heard back again, we'll get to see more facts coming on the board, and in fact also the procedures that might be used by the ASI in case the Supreme Court allows for this scientific survey to happen. But at the same point of time, the Muslim side is continuously opposing.
Ananya, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. In fact, we have the petitioner Manju Vyas on the phone line with us. Manju जी बताएंगे, अब ये डेफर हो गया है तो पूरा मतलब मैटर इसी जो कार्बन डेटिंग का प्रोसेस था उस पे रेस्ट कर रहा था, क्या ये कार्बन डेटिंग अभी भी होने की कुछ उम्मीद है?
पूरी चांसेस है कि हम लोग कार्बन डेटिंग करा के ही रहेंगे, और हम लोग जब तक करा नहीं लेंगे हम लोग पीछे हटने वाले भी नहीं हैं। और क्यों नहीं करने देंगे? सच्चाई सामने आने पे डर रहे हैं क्या ये लोग? देखिए, तो सर्वे पे हर बार पे वो लोग ऑब्जेक्शन इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं। ये कार्बन डेटिंग की तो नाम नहीं है। हम लोग वैज्ञानिक तरीके से जो भी तकनीकी तरीके से हमारी उस शिवलिंग की जांच होगी वो हम लोग कराने में पूरी कोशिश कर देंगे। पूरा सनातन धर्म आ जाएगा आप सामने।
मंजू जी,